CNN News reports that Melania Trump, First Lady of the United States, is launching a special initiative to fight the country's opioid crisis. The campaign, which she has been working on since 2018, will include informational campaigns, education for parents, and reducing stigma around addiction. Mrs. Trump called the opioid crisis a national public health emergency, which has disproportionately affected women, being 15% more likely to become addicted than their male counterparts. The initiative aims to identify solutions to the problem by finding ways to help families and help citizens understand the dangers of both legal and illicit drug use. She plans to host roundtable talks in the coming months to hear from those affected by the opioid crisis and solicit input from medical professionals. Through her Be Best platform, Mrs. Trump says she wants to use her influence to help educate mothers and children on the dangers of their misuse. The Drug Enforcement Administration has already issued her the Hispanic Heroin Hero Award to recognize her efforts in tackling the opioid crisis. According to Mrs. Trump, the administration's pledge is to raise awareness about the dangers of opioid misuse and abuse and to promote treatment and prevention. She is currently in talks with drug manufacturers and has expressed support for programs that reduce the amount of opioids prescribed and dispensed. Members of the Trump administration, including President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence, have praised her effort to fight opioid abuse and addiction. Apart from her own initiative, Mrs. Trump has also partnered with the Department of Health and Human Services and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention to promote awareness about the issues surrounding addiction. Additionally, the First Lady is calling on Congress to pass legislation to ensure better regulation and access to treatment for those in need. She has also been working with schools to ensure that opioid education is included in school curriculums. According to reports, her ongoing mission includes helping young people make informed decisions about prescription drugs and helping inform the public at large about the dangers of opioid abuse. Mrs. Trump is also focusing on pregnant women and said she plans to support the development of opioid safety education and perhaps even programs that offer medication-assisted treatment during pregnancy. She is calling for an increase in access to treatment and recovery services as well as an increase in awareness about the dangers of opioid addiction. In addition to her campaign, Mrs. Trump has appeared on national television this week to urge people to share stories of opioid addiction in order to put a human face on the issue. She has called for a more holistic approach to the opioid crisis that takes into account prevention, education, and awareness in addition to treatment and recovery. Mrs. Trump has reached out to law enforcement organizations to help further educate people on the risks associated with drug abuse and addiction. She has stated that this is a mental health issue as much as it is a physical health issue and that stigma around opioid addiction needs to change. Mrs. Trump calls for stronger collaboration between the government, law enforcement, and public health officials to strengthen our prevention and treatment efforts. She urges all stakeholders to view opioid addiction as an opportunity to make lasting progress in reducing the negative effects of the opioid crisis in the U.S. Mrs. Trump says that this is not just an opioid problem, but an all drugs problem, and is urging people to help stop the spread of dangerous drugs in their communities. She has emphasized that it is everyone's responsibility to help be part of the solution, and has asked for support from the public as she works to tackle the opioid crisis. Melania Trump is also collaborating with governments, law enforcement, healthcare providers, academic experts, and nonprofit organizations to create a meaningful impact.